Hello, everyone. We're back with another great episode of Speaking with Gravity. We're still in season 9, a great season so far, and we are welcoming you back. Glad that you decided to be with us again. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you right here with us. So yeah, y'all know us by now. I'm Joshua.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Thank you for tuning in. My name is Tana Williams.
And I'm Terance Dawkins.
And well, we got a really interesting, I would say, topic today. But so far, sticking with tradition of this season, Terance has been leading us off with some really interesting want-to-knows from you all, from the people. So let's hop into that, Terance. I think you got a good one today, too.
People been talking.
People been talking.
And I will add, if you have something that you would like to know, put it in the comments so we can address it. You know,
that's it.
We want to hear from all of you. But people been talking. They want to know, can you get a dependable car for $1,500?
Ooh, I wish.
You don't think so?
Huh?
You don't think so?
Man, so I think it depends on, I'm real contextual. It depends on what's dependable for you, right? If you're just going back and forth to work, and back and forth to work is like 5 to 10 miles, that might last you. So how long is it going to last you?
Right.
Now, if you like me and you up and down the road, up and down the highways and byways, I don't know if a $1,500 car would, I don't know how much good it would do me. Now, there are some, like them 1998s, people still drive 1998s Toyotas and stuff like that. People still driving them things around.
Okay.
Listen, but I just don't know. What do y'all think though? What do you think?
What if I was to say you can get a dependable car for free?
You have to expound on it.
Do you believe? Well, first the question is, do you believe me?
After I hear you expound on it.
No, that ain't how this works.
Do you believe him, Hannah?
I feel like he's going to say somebody can give you a car.
Exactly. It depends on who you know.
Yes.
It depends on who you know. You can get, because my first car was a good car. My uncle gave it to me. And I ain't had to pay him anything. So that was my first car.
These people ain't talking about that. Man, they talking about
But the question said, can you get a dependable car for $1,500?
All right, y'all.
You can actually get a dependable car for free. So technically, you can get a dependable car for $1,500 depending on who you know.
Yeah, cool with it.
I do believe you can get a dependable car for $1,500. There's a lot of factors and work that has to go into that. Where are you going to find this car from? Who previously owned it and what kind of work they did on it to make it so dependable.
Yep.
And why are they selling it for $1,500? So I think there are a lot of factors that go into it. But if you're limited to $1,500, then you just have to do the work to find a dependable car. And I think Joshua, he made a valid point that what is dependable? Everybody has a different version of dependable. I would say, in my opinion, like a dependable car is able to get your needs done. So like you were saying, get back and forth to work, get your needs done. However, it may not take you everywhere you want to go. You may not be able to travel cross country in this car.
The people told me
What do
that
people
you
tell you?
can get a lemon that costs $20,000.
Oh, the people right. You can.
So technically, you can get a lemon for $1,500, but you also get a lemon for $20,000.
Facts.
So, I mean, I think you can get a dependable car for $1,500, depending on who you know and the research you've done on it, who's had the car, and all this stuff. So it is a lot of factors, but I think the answer is yes, from my personal perspective.
And there's just for my folks who out there looking for cars right now, and you want to avoid getting a lemon. There's a service called Lemon Squad. Have y'all heard of it? There's a service called Lemon Squad. So if you're looking for a car, you find a car, right? You call Lemon Squad, and they'll come out and they'll assess the vehicle for you. I mean, of course, I guess you'll have to pay them. But like if you don't have a mechanic to come look at the car, Lemon Squad will send somebody out there.
Oh, I didn't know
I would keep that in mind.
Yeah, and that's
Squad out here.
So a little nugget for y'all.
LemonSquad.com, maybe?
I don't know a dealer actually told me about it. He was trying to sell me a car. He said, you can have Lemon Squad come out and look at it.
So like,
I'm real. So I'm looking at a truck right now, on a truck, photo truck. But I got a family, so I need a big back seat or whatever. It was 4 doors, but the back seat wasn't big enough.
Okay.
Or whatever.
That's understandable.
But I am looking for a truck, and so I may be calling Lemon Squad because I don't have a mechanic in Atlanta.
Cool.
Yeah, but $1,500 is crazy. Maybe $1,500 a month, Yeah,
I ain't big balling like that, dude.
I'm not trying to pay that myself, but
Well, I ain't big balling. But you
1500,
might,
boy,
that, trying to look for that truck, you gonna pay something like that. That truck gonna run.
boy, that gas in that truck gonna run you. I hope not too bad, but yeah. So yeah, definitely. We'll appreciate that, Terance.
No problem.
Yeah, hope the people satisfied.
I love talking to the people.
Yeah, man. We love our viewers.
So, are you all willing to drive anything that is? Are you all willing to just drive anything? So, if you only have $1,500 and you need transportation, are you willing to put your wants? What color you want the car, what brand name you want the car, what type of gas this car takes, whether the windows are tinted. Are you willing to put your wants underneath and focus on your needs? For example, a dependable 1989 Nissan Sentra. If you only have $1,500, are you willing to drive that car?
I'm taking me. Well, I go 85 or 26. I'm tearing that highway up on that Century. You got to worry about that because the key word is dependable. I know it's gonna get me where I need to go. I don't need to waste my money of $1,500 on a limit, and then I go right down. I try to pull out my driveway, and then the engine fall out. Like, what I'm gonna do with that? $1,500 gone. Mm-hmm. But I don't care what it. I ain't gonna. I'll tell you what I'm about to say back. I do care what it look like, but I can over time make it to what I want it to be as long as it's dependable.
If it lasts that long.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on now. That's what I'm saying, man. She said, sister said 1989, okay?
She said dependable.
For how long?
She didn't say, but she said dependable.
1989, that's a long time.
That thing got like 1 million miles on it, man.
My 15 probably got just as much.
For real?
Yeah, me and that Malibu been moving. Mm. Yeah.
Well, should we get into the episode?
Let's get into it.
Get into it. Okay. So today's episode is about building your coping kit. Mm-hmm. Wow, your coping kit. I think about it like. So first of all, if you building it, hopefully you build it before you need it.
Mm-hmm. Right? Yes, that's the key thing.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you're building it before you need it in preparation for the time to come. We never know what we're gonna come up against, so. It's kind of like in the Bible's analogy about building a house with a strong foundation. Right. And if you build it on a rock, I think it is. I don't want to misquote it like that'll mess it up. But one person built their house on a rock, strong foundation. The other person built their house on something else, and it got blown away. Yeah. Saying it got blown away. Right. So having some things in your kit so that you prepare when those times come. Because trust me, they coming. Mm-hmm. They coming. Those mental health challenges, those things that could lead to mental health challenges, those things are coming. You want to kick us off with that cutie of the hour?
Let's go ahead and address the cutie of the hour. This is just a fun fact that you're able to share with your loved ones or the people you know, and just create some conversation or discussion around it. So that today's cutie of the hour says, the best coping skills are ones that can be implemented regularly, periodically throughout the day or even the week. Although a week-long getaway sounds fun, there can be more benefit from a regular, frequent stress management activities.
Oh, beautiful. Regular, frequent stress management activities.
Yeah.
What are some of those stress management activities? I mean, and that, of course, that's different for everybody. Like, I'll give you an example. Mm-hmm. Of course, I always got to give a story. So, about a couple years ago, I was playing basketball, which was my regularly stress management activity. Okay. And boom, tore my Achilles playing basketball. Oh, no. Yeah, popped that.
How long ago was that, bro?
About 2 years ago. So,
So you were balling for that.
Yeah, a little something. But had to have surgery and I was out for a while. And during that time, it was a lot with the non-weight bearing, with the knee scooter, with the physical therapy, the shower chair, trying to get dressed with one leg. It was just a lot mentally to recover from that. And so it took away, because now I ain't gonna lie, I ain't played basketball since because I'm afraid. I'll be honest with it. Mm-hmm. So it took away one of my regular stress management activities. And so I'm in the process of trying to find new ones. Okay. And when I was recovering, I couldn't go out and do landscaping in the yard. So that took away another one. I couldn't go play or do things with my niece and nephew like I wanted to. I take another one. So I'm in the process of rebuilding my kit, right? Mm-hmm. And so what that looks like for me is going back to the base of what I enjoy doing. I like spending time with family. Me and my cousin are trying to pick up golf.
Okay.
I'm not Tiger Woods. I don't know what I'm doing, but it's just something that we can do together, and it's a new skill that I'm trying to learn. Trying to get back out into the yard, playing with my dogs. It's just different things now to rebuild it, because you can have a coping kit, but then those coping skills can eventually stop working for you. And now you got to develop another kit. So what that would look like for me, golf, I'm trying to learn golf, family, reading, planning, like for the future, which can cause anxiety for some people, but for me, it kind of motivates me. And spending time with niece and nephew. So those are some, for me, stress management activities that I've learned to create after losing what I had before.
Yeah, and I'm going to answer your question on what are some types of coping skills, but I want to address the importance of having a coping kit. And to me, the importance of having a coping kit is, like you were saying earlier, you want to already be prepared so that when these traumatic or extreme life obstacles come your way, you're already equipped with how you're going to handle the situation. And so, for an example, you said golf may be, you can go play golf and relieve some stress, relieve some worry, come back to your routine life and conduct business how it should be conducted without feeling this intense feelings of stress or worry. You can't determine left from right. Some examples of coping skills for me, I would use the example of traveling. However, that is a very expensive, that is a very expensive form of coping with stress that I experienced in life. And I know that I can't travel every day. That is something I can't even do monthly because it's expensive. So a more practical coping skill that I use is journaling. And also I know a lot of my friends utilize coloring books. And another technique is yoga and relaxation techniques. I found that relaxation techniques, such as breathing techniques, is so effective because you can literally do it anywhere and at any time.
Yeah, I do some of that sometimes as far as the breathing techniques. Y'all gave some really good activities. I don't feel like I do a whole lot. I feel like I do have some skills, some coping skills, but not so much coping activities. I mean, I do take a walk. That's an activity.
That is great.
I do take a walk sometimes, like when I'm feeling away, or when I'm starting to feel overwhelmed. Let's get up. Let's do something different. Even in the office sometimes, like I'm the person I'm getting up. I'm walking around. Y'all sit down as long as y'all want to. I gotta move around a little bit. But more so with me, I think there are coping skills like gratitude, right? Thinking about what I'm really thankful for. Even when I'm getting ready to, if I see myself getting ready to go down a negative path, and as far as thinking wise, whether it could be pitying yourself or it could be, just thinking about what you don't have, right. Then thinking about what do I have going for me, right? So gratitude is a coping skill that's really helpful for me. I don't know how much it would be for others. I've heard others say that it has been, but I think you should try it, definitely. I was telling someone about it the other day. They were just talking to me about some of the things that they had going on, and we were able to kind of get in a better mindset just from us talking about, okay, what are you thankful for, though, about yourself?
Right.
What do you have going for yourself? So I think gratitude is one. Giving myself grace and forgiving myself sometimes for like little mistakes and things like that. Forgiving myself for not, I won't say forgiving myself for not being perfect, but allowing myself grace for not, reaching perfection all the time, right? I'm blessed if I put the effort in, I'm blessed in where I end up at, right? And next time I can end up in an even better place, right?
And I feel, I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, you good. Go ahead.
And I feel like when you already have skills or activities in your coping kit, then you can utilize them at your convenience.
Yeah.
And I say that because, if you're dealing with stress and anxiety, you access that coping kit. And within that coping kit can even be some resources to talk to other people.
Yeah.
So within that coping kit, once you access it and utilize the skills or the activities in there, that can help reduce that stress and anxiety that you may be experiencing in that moment.
All right. No story. So this,
One second.
Go ahead.
For photographer, you gotta make sure you get me and Hannah because we both got on. We both rocking the same colors today. You feel me?
So
You
they
go
can
ahead.
add
I'm,
colors.
But I'm sorry.
I know he had stopped my story to try to get a photo,
No,
but it's all good though.
These
You know,
things. I just thought about that. I was like, I
Make
like that
sure you
pink.
get me.
I was like, I like that pink. Then I
I'm
looked
ready
down,
for
I'm
my
like,
close up.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, so can't believe you did that to me. I just play, but no, like this past week, I ain't gonna lie, it was pretty stressful as far as not necessarily. Life's been stressful, but this is probably about to be very vulnerable with y'all.
It's okay.
Appreciate it.
All right, so I was talking to this girl, right, and she wasn't really giving me much in return. You know, I was showing interest and stuff, but she was saying she was interested, but wasn't really showing it. And I ain't gonna lie, that kind of got me. At first, when we first started talking, communication was great. You know, I was feeling at peace, but then the communication started to fall off. We started to create a lot of anxiety. Mm-hmm. So this one particular day this week, I was feeling like a lot of anxiety. So I said, you know what? When I get home today, I'm going to text some of my friends, see if they want to ride on motorcycles, because that's part of what I do. That's part of what's in my coping kit.
Nice.
Is ride my bike, because when you riding a motorcycle, you have to focus on everything else but the problem. I got to focus on this car. I got to focus on this potential situation. I got to focus on what I'm doing on the bike. So my mind is directly focused on the present and not the past or the future. So that's why I like to ride my bike. So I'm feeling real stressed, overwhelmed. Went for a ride my bike. Rode for a couple hours, came home, felt like a totally different person. But why? Because the key thing about the coping skills or coping kit, you want to find things that can keep you in the present and not the future or the past. Because if you think about the future, those are things has not happened yet, and that's going to affect how you feel now. If you think about the past, that's things you can't control, which now impacts the present. So my bike helps me keep me present and grounded, and that's what a coping skill is supposed to do.
And I'm glad you highlighted that, because so many people can often have a misconception of, okay, am I coping or am I escaping? You know, and it can be a fine line. And in order to manage your anxiety or stress in a healthy way, we're advocates for finding those coping skills compared to escaping. So you use your bike as an example. You know, you're still present in the moment. You're not taken away from reality to the point where once you come back, get off the bike, you still have to address the issue at hand.
And I did.
Yeah.
So
right.
that's the difference. And I don't mean to cut you off, but that's
You're fine.
the main difference.
With the
new mindset. Because if I would have addressed it right before, like without riding my bike, it probably would have made the situation worse. But I was able to ride my bike, become focused in the present, calm down to the point where now I can go back and address it, and then I did not escape it.
That's so important. And so I remember, like we mentioned, coloring books earlier, and a lot of my friends do utilize coloring books, but that is something that came from children. You know, we saw children utilizing coloring books and you know, just in their own zone during that time and not even thinking about what's going on around them. That can happen for adults too. If we're focused on something that eases our anxiety or eases our stress in the moment, we're able to come back to life and process things in a more clear mentality.
Yeah, I love that. I love what both of y'all brought up. And then, you know, you brought up something, Terance, that made me think about, I think it's not just, because we were thinking about the best coping skills being ones that can be implemented regularly. I think I would take it a step further. The best coping skills are ones that should be implemented as life practices. So if I'm thinking about, and you kind of alluded to it too, Hannah, if I'm thinking about, what was one that I was talking about earlier?
You like what that you do? You said
Walking,
things like that. I don't have to just do that when a challenge comes up.
No.
Right? I don't have to just do that. It's already a part of my. It's already a part of me. I'm making it more a part of me. So it's like I'm practicing, and I'm building up building up that momentum. So when that challenge does come, I got something I got something ready for it.
I'm so important that you highlighted practicing those coping skills and not just utilizing them in the sudden moment when you need them, because I feel like when we practice those coping skills, for example, this person I know, they had like a 30-day challenge, and a part of their 30-day challenge, they had to go for a 10-minute walk outside every day. And this was in February. So I'm like, I can't join this challenge because I don't want to go outside walking in the wintertime. But he was expressing to me how peaceful he was during that walk, and how he was just able to like be present in the moments and appreciate life and become grounded in that moment. And then once the walk was over, he had more of a clear mentality and able to make more rational decisions, simply because he had practiced taking a walk daily. And that's something that's a skill or a coping mechanism that I want to implement into my life, taking more walks in nature.
And the more you implement the coping skills before there's a problem, the longer it will take for there to be a problem. Meaning my body gets used to feeling calm, and my nervous system doesn't get really activated as easily as it did before, because that's ultimately what's happening when you're feeling stressed. Your nervous system gets to this like, oh my God, there's a threat or there's danger type thing, and now you start to physically feel anxious, or feel that heart beating, or feel jittery, and it's pretty much your body's telling you that something's going on.
Right.
And so now we have to calm our nervous system through different activities to let it know that everything's okay. And the more that you give that nervous system comfort, right, the more it's like, okay, I'm all right now. There's not really a threat. And now it takes you build up that tolerance, and so increase that threshold. So, yep.
And we talk about coping skills and coping activities. I think another coping skill would be having affirmations, positive affirmations.
Oh yeah, that is
that
important.
You tell yourself.
It is important.
I think Kervin had mentioned. I was talking to him. I think he mentioned someone who, forgive me, Kervin, but someone who had like a bag of coping mechanisms. Having believe it or not, I have in my phone. I have some affirmations, right? But having something like that to go to, for a lot of people spiritually, it can be the Bible, right? Having scriptures to go to, for me, is that, going to the Word. But you can definitely have things when you think about them, and you go back and you look at them, and they can really save you from really stressing out about a situation. Right. So those affirmations are really important too, I think. And
I also want to acknowledge that, it's common to experience stress and worry, but if you have been diagnosed with anxiety, stress and worry can be a daily issue that you have to overcome on a daily, and it can be a challenge. So I just want to highlight some types of anxiety.
Yeah.
Let's see. So there is generalized anxiety, where it is excessive fears or worries that occur at least most days out of the week. There is social anxiety. This is pretty common. There is a celebrity named Summer Walker that said, I struggle with social anxiety. She struggled with social anxiety. She didn't even like performing concerts, and that is an area she had to grow in, simply because she has social anxiety, and she became very worried or fearful of being judged in front of large crowds. There's also separation anxiety, where you feel this intense need to be okay only around the people you loved, and as soon as you're separated or you're away from close proximity from them, you experience distress. Another type is specific phobia, and under specific phobia are different types of anxiety, where I'll give an example. So aerophobia is basically the fear of airplanes. So that's a very specific fear. However, there are also other types of specific phobias. So those individuals are afraid or worry about one specific issue or fear. And another example is a panic disorder. So individuals that have panic attacks. And another example is PTSD. So post-traumatic stress disorder. We commonly associate that with veterans, but you can be diagnosed with PTSD from a relationship, from a car accident, from different arrays of traumatic experiences. So with that being said, all of these different types of anxiety, if we're able to already have a coping kit set in place to utilize when we're feeling, different different manifestations of, anxiety, we can already be prepared. And it's more of a preventative thing versus waiting until, we hit rock bottom to say, okay, let me use my coloring book,
Well, you're being proactive, not reactive, right? Yeah, I love that.
You was mentioning the different types of, anxiety, and there, I was trying to figure out where was I going to go with that. You described each one of them. Of course, I mentioned the nervous system. I don't know where I was going with it, but it came to my mind, but then it left me. But if it comes back up, guess what? I'll let you know.
That's understandable.
I think something that's important to y'all, something I thought about, as we're coping with things, and just thinking about some of the negative experiences that we face, we have to, I think, remember, I've had to remember on my journey to, I guess this ties in, right, to put more positive things into my daily journey. As I'm taking out some of those negative behaviors, or some of those negative, just times when my mind may go to something negative. Then I gotta put maybe an affirmation in there, or put something positive in there, put more gratitude in there to replace that. Because if I just leave it empty, then that negative thing it'll come back, it'll come right back around. It'll be at me again. Yep. So just stressing the importance of that. Did you think of what you
sure did?
Not,
it came back to me.
I was about to say.
So, a lot of times, especially with anxiety, depression, or any other type of mental health struggles, some people might say, "I shouldn't be feeling this way." All right, or they feel the shame or guilt, or any without feeling the way that they feel. But it's okay to feel those emotions. Like, you're actually supposed to feel those emotions, but you're supposed to have a way to recover from those emotions. Those emotions are supposed to be temporary. They're not supposed to stay for a long time, because once they stay for a long time, general anxiety can turn into a panic attack, right? Because it's your nervous system is then being overworked at that point. So I like to tell the people it's okay to feel these emotions for a short term, so you can get the information that it's trying to communicate to you, but then use the coping skills to regulate it back down to a more tolerable level.
And another technique that I like to use with clients and individuals that may experience anxiety is to ask them, what are my concerns? What am I afraid of? What do I fear? What do I worry so much about? Identify what it is, or what those concerns are, and then ask them, ask yourself, what is the likelihood of this fear actually happening? Is it all in my head? What is the likelihood of that concern actually happening? And then a follow-up question is, if this concern or this fear of mine did happen, if I have aerophobia and I'm so afraid of airplanes, and my worst fear is this airplane may crash, think about the worst case outcome, and then also think about the best outcome. If my fear does not happen, the likelihood of an airplane crashing, does not happen, and the best outcome is I get to my destination safely and I'm going to Turks and Caicos. Let's weigh our likeliness and the reality of the likeliness is what I'm trying to say, of that fear even happening. So we can create some practical ways to manage it.
I like that.
I got another one too, y'all. Fasting is has been really important for me on my journey as a coping skill. Kind of similar how we was talking about earlier about putting things into your daily walk. That's been one that I put into just every week, having a day, right, where you fast. So what can be a coping mechanism, if you introduce it into your everyday life or whatnot, into your life as a best practice, then you like we say, you're ready, you're more resilient. So that's a big thing. But fasting, if you don't know about it, it's basically abstaining from whatever you're abstaining from. Myself, I would do food and water, right? Abstaining from a certain period of time. I guess it could be intermittent fasting. I don't know. some people use the terms interchangeably, but a lot of times what that does is just builds up. I would say builds up some resilience, almost. I don't want to say tolerance, but is it you go without, right? And I think along with that fasting, some meditation has to be in there too, some prayer, some meditation to kind of center you and focus you around either healing from what you're going through,
to ground you,
to ground you during that process. But I think you should try it though. It's got some it's had some really great effects for myself and for some of the people that have used fasting as a technique for coping.
I definitely agree with that. In my opinion and in my experience, fasting has been very beneficial for me when I'm experiencing an obstacle in life, so that I can take away some of the distractions I experience on a daily basis. Sometimes I might even fast from my phone. Like, I don't need my phone right now, for a couple of hours. Let me abstain from it. And what I heard from, I think another important factor to fasting or even to building your coping kit is to provide some affirmations in there, some positive self-talk. So, for example, while I'm fasting and while I'm refraining from eating or drinking, what am I telling myself in my head to give me some resilience, to give me some motivation, to give me some encouragement to get through that obstacle that day? And then, the next day when you are eating and drinking, or, a week or two from now when you are eating and drinking, but a large challenge or a large obstacle or a sudden stressor comes into your life, you're able to resort back and practice what you have already built up in your coping kit, and you're able to repeat those self-affirmations and phrases to yourself and repeat that positive talk in your head simply because you've already practiced it.
Man, you better bring that thing home for me, Hannah.
Full circle.
I love me some good affirmations. I ain't even gonna lie. I have a lot of them in my toolkit, in my coping kit. It's just like you said, a reminder, right? I recently got another tattoo. Actually, I've been working on the leg sleeve, and part of it, I took a quote from Lion King, when Mufasa told Simba, "Remember who you are." That's like one of the main affirmations that I have, and that to me is telling myself, remember who you are, as far as where you've been, what you've been through, how you overcame it, and where you're trying to go, especially the overcame part. Yeah. So remember who you are no matter what starts to happen now. So that's I love me some good affirmations.
That's funny because I was actually going to ask if you cared to share an example of one of the affirmations you use, and I don't mind sharing one of the affirmations I use. When I was talking to my therapist last summer after a traumatic incident happened, she told me that, Hannah, you're too harsh on yourself. You need to give yourself some grace, some compassion. Find or create an affirmation phrase just for you that will help you. Like you said, this phrase will help you in the situations you face. And so my affirmation phase that I created is that God is omnipotent. When I'm so used to trying to be in control of situations, which I think eases my anxiety or eases my concerns or worries about a situation, I'm so used to trying to control that instead of just giving that over to God and recognizing that He's so omnipotent, and He's able to take the situation, control it, find a resolution, find a solution for it without me worrying and stressing so much. So that's my personal affirmation phrase.
Does that help you to get out of the way too, so he can do his thing?
It does, because instead of placing myself, Hannah, in the situation, I'm able to take a step back and let His power, resolve the situation.
Look at that. I like that, man. Yeah, my kind of similar. A lot of mine are scriptures, because that's what I get into. So what I've been on lately, what I've been on for a while, just recognizing and this is a coping skill, I think, too. Humility, believe it or not. At least it is for me. But tells the scripture, I must increase, that He decrease. I must decrease so that He increase, so that He may increase. It's talking about, John the Baptist was talking about Christ. But basically, put my will down, putting what I want all the time out the way, allow myself to get out the way, so that what needs to be done will be done. right?
Right.
Sometimes we have to get out of the way. In my case, of course, what needs to be done is let God will be done. But yeah, so that's one for me too. You know, you brought up a really good point, Hannah. We try to control things so much, especially when we think we got a little bit of knowledge. We think we know a little something.
Oh boy,
we think we know a little something. Then you know we think that we can solve every problem with just what we have, and sometimes life is trying to teach us, you know, that it's more to be learned.
Right.
Too. I say God's trying to teach us more to be learned too, and when you get what that little bit that's more to be learned, you're a little dangerous, but even then you can't get up then. You can't get up then like you know something, because there's even more after that.
I want to point out something. Your voice and tone just was elevated just now, but when you was talking about humility and talking about God, you had that low voice, like you was
That
trying
Martin
to.
Luther King.
Yeah, you was trying to seduce someone or something. What's up with that, man?
I'm trying to, did you feel seduced?
No, I didn't.
I did not.
Did y'all feel seduced just now? Did I seduce y'all?
So one thing I want to talk about is humility.
Well, I guess, and I guess I was getting low, brother. I don't know.
Doing something
He was
over there.
getting low with it. But I think it all comes back to having an effective coping kit that works for you. We're not here to tell you what to put in your personal coping kit. That's for you to decide what works for you. We're just here to offer some options and to motivate you to create a coping kit so that when you need to utilize it, it's already there.
Yep.
Beautiful. How y'all feeling?
I feel good. I loved it. I like talking about coping strategies and skills, especially letting people know that, you know, sometimes you might have something that works and then, you know, if circumstances happens and stop working or you fall off, but you can always get back on track and develop new ones or restart the ones that you've had before. I had to really do some self-discovery and self-awareness for myself to realize that I had fallen off, and then working to get back to implementing more self-care and coping strategies. So
Yeah, I feel great as well. I'm glad that you recognize that this has to be a daily pattern, a daily routine that we implement into our lives. So I'm glad you recognize that. And it comes down to also utilizing self-care and recognizing when you need to, you know, extend more self-care or more grace onto yourself. And then after that, what do? You access or you utilize your coping kit.
Beautiful. Yeah, Terance, both of y'all, I think that was beautiful. I know Terance brought up, you know, it may not work forever, right? So you gotta,
always gotta
make some
adjustments.
changes.
Just like, I don't care how reliable you think it's gonna be, that $1,500 car, it ain't gonna.
It might not be.
It ain't gonna work.
That's that.
They gonna get it done forever. So now that we done seduced y'all and everything, we want to wrap up today's episode. We emphasize the importance, truly it is importance, of taking proactive steps to manage stress and anxiety. Building a coping kit is an ongoing process. Ongoing process that requires patience and self-compassion. Give yourself some grace. Remember, it's okay to seek professional help if needed, and always prioritize your mental health. Join us next time for another insightful discussion. This has been Speaking with Gravity.
Speaking with Gravity.
All right, y'all.